iHostage is a 2025 film directed by Bobby Boermans, written by Boermans and Simon de Waal, and we have a cast including Soufiane Moussouli and Admir Sehovic, and I apologise if I've mispronounced any of those names. And when I was watching this, I didn't make the connection between the events of the hostage in 2022. I had a vague recollection of it after watching this, but this is based on the true story of the hostage situation at an Apple store in Amsterdam in 2022, but I can't comment on how accurate it is to the true story. If anybody has any information on that, please feel free to share. But the narrative is very straightforward. Somebody goes into an Apple store, brandishes a gun, claims a hostage. There are some other people in the building as well, and throughout the course of the film, they have to try and negotiate with him. And well, I won't say any more than that. Because I had completely forgotten about the situation in Amsterdam, I never really knew much about it anyway. I have a very vague recollection of what happened, but I don't remember very much. I don't know if that's my memory or if it wasn't reported much in the UK. It's probably my own fault. But either way, because I wasn't really familiar with that, I couldn't remember how it ended, so I had no idea where this film was going and ultimately what would happen. And I was excited to find out. It's very suspenseful, it's very dramatic. It doesn't take too long to get to the main point. We have a tiny bit of setting up, but nothing too much, and then the main narrative is established and the negotiations begin. And there are times when it's maybe a little slow. The film is 1 hour and 40, which I have to say is not a bad length for this kind of film. It does work well, but they could have removed maybe 15-20 minutes here and there just to tighten up the narrative just a little bit, and it might have been a little bit better. But in general, I never felt bored. I never felt like it was too slow. I think for me, the desire to find out what was going to happen and how things would conclude kept me interested even when it slowed down a little bit. The characters are well written, the performances are really, really strong, and even though obviously the bulk of it takes place in the Apple store, we do get other locations, but for the most part it's in the Apple store. It never became boring, it never became stale, and I think they did a really good job of making use of the space and other locations. Everything flows really well. I have absolutely no complaints. Now, I will say, I haven't seen that many hostage-based films. I'd quite like to watch more. I think it's a kind of subgenre of thriller or crime drama that I could get into. And if you have any recommendations, please feel free to share. But the point there is that I can't really compare it to others. Compared with other hostage films, it might not be very good. I have no idea. I've only seen a tiny handful. But I would like to see more. And I think that's a good thing. Coming away from this film and going, I want to see more films like this, can only be a good sign. It's a strong narrative. Yes, it's a little slow in places, but it works well enough. The characters are strong. The performances are great. I have no complaints. It's an intense film. It is dramatic. And in general, from start to finish, I was hooked. Yes, I was desperate to find out what would happen at the end, but I also enjoyed the journey getting there as well. So iHostage is definitely one that I recommend, but do bear in mind that I don't have that much of an experience with hostage films. And if you can recommend any, please do. I'd love to check out some more. And for now, I'm really satisfied with the experience. Definitely happy to recommend iHostage.